All right, 8th grade. So today we're going to be talking about Unit 9, Lesson 1. Our aim for today is students will be able to divide a whole number by a unit fraction. Our thing about it says, Josiah has 2 feet of cord for making bracelets. He will cut it into pieces of equal length to make all bracelets the same size. He has 2 different options for how much to cut each piece. Create a model or diagram to determine the number of bracelets he can make with 2 feet of cord. Option A, 1/2 foot of cord per bracelet, which they give us an expression is the same as 2 divided by 1/2. So we are just going to simply draw a model. As always, starting with the base of our model, we are going to cut this model into our whole number of 2 pieces. Of course, our model needs to have a label. We have 2 pieces representing our whole number in our expression. Then we are going to take our next step of our expression, which is 1/2, and we are going to cut each piece into half. We are going to cut each piece into half. So when it says create a model or a diagram, this is simply what they are referring to. A way in which we could check our answer is that this one piece right here represents 2. This one piece right here represents 2 more. We can do 2 times 2, giving us 4 pieces. Option B says 1/3 foot of cord per bracelet, giving us our expression as 2 divided by 1/3. So we are going to draw a model again. This time, just similar to last time, we are going to split up our model into our dividend, the number that represents our dividend. So in this case, it's 2. We're going to split our model into 2 and label. Our dividend is represented here as the whole number 2. Then each part of our model, we are then going to break into the denominator of our unit fraction. So in this case, the denominator of our unit fraction is 3. So each of these parts, we are going to simply break into 3. I'm going to use dots so that we can tell the difference. Feel free to use a line if you want. It's totally up to you. So now we have here our dividend, which was 2, divided by our divisor, which was 1/3. We see that we have 3 pieces on each side. We can simply do 3 times 2, because we had 3 2 times, giving us 6 pieces. As you can see in both option A and option B, we are multiplying our dividend by our denominator. So we are multiplying our dividend by the denominator of our fraction, which we did in both cases. So we are going to look at that in our next problem, well, in our test of conjecture, 2 test of conjecture problem. We are going to look at that theory. So test of conjecture number 1 says, evaluate the expression 3 divided by 1/5. So as we know, the 3 is our dividend and the 1/5 is our divisor. These are the parts of our fractions. It is very important that we acknowledge those parts because they are going to be important for the lesson that we are doing. Just similar in the think about it, we are going to first start off by drawing our model. We are going to draw a model. We are going to break down our model using our dividend. So in this case, our dividend is 3. We are going to break our model into 3 parts and label it. Next, we are going to take our divisor. In this case, our unit fraction. We are going to take the denominator of that unit fraction and break down each of our pieces. So as you can tell, our denominator here is 5. We are going to break down each of our pieces, in this case, into 5 smaller pieces. So here we go. I'm just going to use a different color so you guys can tell. So 2, so here we go. we have our dividend represented 3 pieces of our model. Then we broke each of those pieces into the denominator of our divisor or our unit fraction. That means we have 5 smaller pieces in each of our sections. As I stated to you guys before, when we are dividing by a whole number by a unit fraction, we are simply going to multiply our dividend, so 3, by the denominator of our unit fraction. So 3 times 5, which gives us 15. So those steps were multiply dividend, multiply dividend by the denominator. So you want to make sure you are taking note of that on your paper so that when you are working today, you can always refer back to that. You want to multiply the dividend by the denominator. As always, we need to perform a check step. How can we prove that that is correct? How can we prove that that is true? We can simply prove that that is true by taking our answer, which in this case, our quotient, 15, and multiplying it by 1/5, which was our fraction, our unit fraction, and see if we get back to 3. So as always, we do whole number times numerator over denominator. 15 times 1 is 15 over 5, which gives me 3. We started off with 3 as our dividend. We ended up with 3 as our product. That is correct. So our conjecture to multiply the dividend by the denominator did hold true. Let's take a look at test conjecture number 2. It says Anaya's job is to complete a phone call with a customer every quarter hour. So it did mention to you every quarter hour, which is every 15 minutes. How many phone calls should she complete during her 8-hour shift? So first things first, we always know that we need a goal. We need a goal. What is this problem asking us to do? This problem is asking us to find out how many calls Anaya makes in 8 hours. We are looking for the amount of calls Anaya makes in 8 hours. Let's talk about our expression. What should our expression be? Our dividend. What is our dividend? The number that we have, our whole number. What in this case will be our dividend? The number that we are dividing. That is being divided. So in this case, our dividend is going to be 8. We are going to divide that by every quarter hour. We know a quarter will be 1/4. So our expression reads 8 divided by 1/4. Just like in our last problems, we are going to draw a model. This time you may want to make your model a little bigger because we are going to split it into 8 pieces. We are going to make a model, split it into 8 pieces. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have our model. We split it into 8 pieces. Each of those 8 pieces, we are now going to split into 4. Each of those 8 pieces, we are now going to split into 4 to represent the denominator of our unit fraction. So here we go. I'm going to use a different color again, just so that you can see me splitting my boxes into 4. At home, I suggest that you use a different color as well so that you can properly see what is happening. Hey, here we go. We know that each of these parts of our 8 have 4 pieces in each of them. So as always, I'm just going to label. We have 4 pieces in each of them. We are going to apply our conjecture for today. multiply the dividend by the denominator, we are going to apply that conjecture to this problem. So we are going to do 8, which is our dividend, times 4, which is our denominator. 8 times 4 we know give us 32. Anaya should make 32 calls in her 8-hour shift. Let's check that. Let's perform a check step to see if that holds true. So again, our check step is going to be us doing the opposite of division, which in this case will be to multiply. So we are going to do our quotient, 32, times 1/4, which was our unit fraction. We know we need to do whole number times numerator over denominator. 32 divided by 4, which gives us 8 hours. We started off with 8 hours. We ended with 8 hours. Our answer did hold true. At home, make sure you are writing your final sentence. Our final sentence should read, Anaya should make 32 calls in her 8-hour shift. During her 8-hour shift. Sorry. And our conjecture for today is to divide a whole number by a unit fraction, multiply the dividend by the denominator.